It's like with stand-up, ideas that upset people. This is what we do that I love. That's like a religion to me. I would die for it. Is that you take people to a place that they hate, that they're upset, that scares them or offends them or makes them feel bad when they think about it. You take them to that part of their brain and you make them laugh there. What a great fucking thing that is.
Yeah.
And people love it. You know, you don't need any more excuse to do it than that people keep coming to the shows. You know, it's easy sport for other people to take it and go, you shouldn't have said that thing.
Right.
You guys play that game, that's fine. But the audience still loves just being jarred and played with because it's a game. It's a game. It's a fun. Movies are a game too. We're going to show you somebody, a mass murderer, and he's actually the good guy. You know, that kind of thing.
Well, Tony Soprano.
Yes. Yeah.
Tony Soprano was an evil, terrible person who was the anti-hero that everyone loved.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like that. To have that is good. It's like what they did with Cobra Kai was fascinating because they made Ralph Macchio a shithead.
That's right.
And they made the bad guy likable.
That's right. And I remember thinking that when I watched the movie, the first time Ralph Macchio punches him, like, what the fuck? He was actually saying to his girlfriend, hey, I'm just trying to talk to you. And then this guy gets in the way, and then he punches him. He's kind of a dick in Karate Kid. And he wins, and I loved it when I was a kid. But he is kind of an asshole.
Yeah. It's I think it's more rewarding now for audiences when you do something fucked up because they know there's consequences. They know that it's you know, Ari said something that I always repeat is that comedy's dangerous again. Mm-hmm. That's what he likes. You know,
I think that's good. Yeah.
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 Like the fact that, you know, you could get air quotes canceled. Like, what does that mean? Like, people are going to get upset at you? Like, well, this just means more input, you know, but you don't have to listen to it.
No, that's the thing. I think people are being called canceled who really just got criticized. That does happen.
Yeah.
There is that. Canceled is a brand that's been diluted.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that get canceled.
Sure.
You know? But there's a thing that happens also to comics where they're doing...
Who do you mean?
No, I've heard.
I've heard of a few people.
I've heard of a few people. Yeah, who had material loss.
What does that mean? You know, it's like criticism is kind of essential, and if you're putting out something that's relevant, you're going to have differing opinions. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
It's part of what's great about culture.
Yeah.
Is that somebody puts something out and everybody gets upset.
Yeah.
Like every great work that's out there, like old things, they always tell you, like Beethoven's Ninth, when they first played it, people were throwing chairs and booing. There was a riot. Like, what the fuck is this?
Really?
They were that angry. I might be wrong about the particular symphony, but those stories are out there a lot. You know, in its time, this was hated.
Whoa.
And it doesn't mean that they were wrong. It was part of the excitement of it too. You know? That's part of people take this. I don't believe in misinterpretation as a real word of art. Like, you misinterpreted, that's not how I meant it. No, I interpreted it. I took what you made, and it made me feel something different than you felt about it, and I expressed that. Now, it used to be, I think, the critics, like we were talking about this, critics used to be really good at interpreting and dissecting and voicing outrage about stuff in a way, but artistically they used to be good. Now it's kind of like figuring out the buzzwords and making it. It's not the same.
Well, there's still some critics out there, but I think the issue is that journalism itself, it's very difficult to get paid for journalism. Like, if you want to sell a newspaper, good fucking luck. Nobody's buying newspapers.
That's right.
So you have to get clicks. So it's all about engagement. So it's all about salacious storylines and whatever you say in the headline has to catch people immediately, and then it's all about saying something that's going to outrage people or upset people and get them to click on it because that's where the ad revenue comes from.
And that's really old, too.
Yeah.
I mean, the New York Post used to be clickbait. Back when it was just newspapers, the Post with the crazy... And they did way back then what news websites do now. Like, the New York Post would have a headline that's like, war with China, the question mark is what keeps you from getting sued.
Right.
War with China. Then you read the newspaper, you buy the paper, and the story is, no, there's no war with China. You're fine. So there's a lot of stories like that. The headline is like, is this or that evil? And then you read it and go, no, actually, it's okay. This guy said it was, but he's not. He is. That's how they protect themselves.
It's weird because no one saw social media coming and the influence that it has on people, positive and negative. But what is coming after this? Like, it's not like this is going to be the end. This is not the final frontier.
Of course not. No, it's just another thing. It's just another thing. And our generation got kind of caught in the teeth of it because it's so different from what we started out with.
Yeah.
So we're bewildered by it and upset by it, and we're like, this is the end of the world. But the next generation of kids, I think, they got their head together about it. They haven't, like every human being, they have a nose for bullshit. Kids I know, my daughter's age, you know, they're just they're like, nah, no, that's dumb. I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
They think it's funny, they think it's silly, and then it gets absorbed like everything else. You know, cable TV was supposed to be like, no one's thinking anymore. Everybody's watching, you know.
Right.
I mean, TV when it came out was like, that's the evil, you know, and Marshall McLuhan wrote about how this is going to end. And TV's an afterthought now. It's just been absorbed, and people found ways to do beautiful things in television. So I think it'll just take its place. You know?